Hey, welcome. Thanks for coming in. We're actually going to be working on some overlays. I'm going to show you how to do some overlays for StreamYard. So we're going to open up our screen and let's do that. Hold on one second. And we're going to actually be doing some overlays in Canva. So I'm going to show you guys how to do some overlays in Canva. So before we get into that, I'm just going to show you what overlays are. So overlays are what you see here, where I have Louise Cutler Studios and in my studio. So that's where you guys are. You're in my studio. And you can use overlays as opposed to showing the name. And so that's basically what we're going to do. We're going to use overlays because overlays are a little more fun and you can change them up to make them how you want. This is StreamYard. Like if you have the basic StreamYard plan, this is what the basic StreamYard plan looks like. It has live with StreamYard. It has StreamYard live show. So if you want to use that, you can. But if you want to do some branding, you want to go about doing your own overlays. And so this is my overlay. So you can see I have a couple, and then I also do a different show. And so those overlays are a little different. So I create overlays according to what the show is. I host a beauty blocks art and culture show. So that's what this is about. And so you can see I try to have overlays that fit everything that I'm doing. And so you can do the same thing. I have another show where I have different overlays. Well, not that one, but but you can see I have different overlays for that show as well. So you can create overlays according to your shows and how you want your show to look. So we're going to go and do some overlays. So here we go. We're going to go and do some overlays. And what we're going to do is we're going to do it on Canva. Now you can do overlays in like if you're good with Photoshop and stuff like that, but it's a lot, I find that it's a lot quicker on Canva. And so we're going to go to Canva and let's bring Canva up. There we go. So we're going to start in Canva. Now I have a free plan. I have the free plan and you can do a lot on Canva with the free plan. The only thing that you cannot do on Canva with the free plan is you don't get the transparent background. And so what I do, since I do work in Photoshop, I just take mine over to Photoshop and then I do the transparency on Photoshop. But if you want to pay the extra for the transparency and you just upgrade your packet. So if you want to do the transparency feature on Canva, you just upgrade your packet and then you'll be able to get the transparency feature. So let's go into Canva. Here we go. We're going to pull up Canva. And you can see this is the Canva right here. Let me make sure that we're going to go over to Canva. And this right here is Canva. And you can do a lot of different things on Canva. Canva gives you an option to create all kinds of things. But we're going to do our overlays on Canva. Now, you can do your overlays on Photoshop if you're good in Photoshop. But I just find Canva a little easier to work with. And so that's why I do it in Canva. However, I'm on the free plan. And if you're on the free plan, the one thing you can't do is you can't do the transparency feature on Canva unless you upgrade. So you can upgrade to the pro feature, which is $9.95 a month. You know, if you do it annually, if you bill it annually, and you'll be able to get the transparency feature in that. I do Photoshop, so I actually use the transparency. I create the transparency in my Photoshop, and I'll show you how to do that as well if you have Photoshop. But if you do not, I would suggest go ahead and getting the upgrade so you can get the transparency feature off of Canva. Then that way you can do transparency so that you can use your overlays wherever. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off. We're just going to click create. Once you come into Canva, you're going to click create, and you're going to do custom dimensions. But as you can see down here, you can do Instagram posts, and it gives you the dimensions for Instagram. It gives you dimensions for YouTube, the dimensions for Instagram stories. It also YouTube channel art. It also has Facebook, gives you dimensions for Facebook. So it gives you dimensions for everything. It gives you dimensions for Facebook stories. So it gives you dimensions for everything. So you can literally create all of your social media posts right here in Canva, which is pretty exciting. So, but we're going to do is because they don't give a StreamYard one. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a custom. We're going to do a custom one in StreamYard because we want to have that custom feature. So what we're going to do is on StreamYard, the custom size for your overlays is 1280 by 720. So your custom size is 1280 by 720 on StreamYard. So that's what we're going to go with. That's where we're going to go with our custom size. So we're going to create. And so basically what you're going to do is you're going to click create because you're going to be creating your overlay right here on Canva. Now, there's tons of really cool features Canva has. You can upload your own images. If you have some images you want to upload, you can use Canva photos. It totally depends on what you want to do. They have all kinds of really cool elements that you can use, shape, sizes, some really cool stuff. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take one of my upload images. I'm just going to go through and I think, okay, I'm just going to use this cutout one because I already have it cut out. So I'm going to take that and I'm just going to put this cutout image on here, but I don't want it to be the full image. I just want it to be a small, keep giving me a full image and I don't want a full image. So there. So I don't want a full image. I just want a small image and then I'm going to shrink it down. So in this right here, this image is already cut out. And so it has the negative background on it. So I can put this literally anywhere and it'll just sit. So if you want to do that, you just do that in Photoshop or other different software. So you can just have the image and not necessarily have a background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this image, I'm going to put it over here, and then I'm going to go to elements because I just want to do some shapes. And you don't necessarily have to use an image. You could just do shapes. So I'm going to take some shapes and create my overlay. So I'm going to take this image, I'm going to take this shape right here, I'm going to bring it up, and then I'm going to bring it down a little bit. I'm going to bring that down right in here. And then up here, you have color, so you can change the color. So I'm going to go ahead and change the color to red. And then I don't want it in front of it. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to click to the right on my mouse, and then I'm going to send that behind the image. And so now you can see it's behind the image, and I'm just going to stretch it out just a little bit more. And so I can literally put anything I want on here. Right here is my text box. So I'm going to go to my text box and I'm going to bring a text down and I'm just going to write Louise Cutler, because that's me, Louise Cutler. And I'm just going to put host because I'm going to go ahead and use this for my show. So I'm going to put host Louise Cutler right there. And I don't like it in black, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in. I'm just going to go ahead and make it white. So you see this right here, you see your letters, and it has these color bars underneath. You just click on that, And I'm going to make that white. So I'm just going to click on white, and you can see you have tons of colors. So you can use any of these colors. So I'm just going to make that white. And right there, I have a really cool overlay that I can use. Now, if you want, you can add more elements to it. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little circle over here that's also going to appear in red. And I'm just going to add another, I'm going to add some more letters to it, or you can add a design to it. You can do pretty much whatever you want. You can do pretty much whatever you want to it. So I'm going to go over here and just put in the time, because it's Tuesdays. I can spell Tuesday right, correct? Why don't I capitalize it? Tuesdays. And it's at 10 o'clock in the AM. So this particular show is 10 o'clock AM. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little time up here. That way people can see the time when they're looking for the show. When they see me on the show, I have the time up and they know when the next show is going to be. So I'm just going to stretch that out. So, and I use letters instead of numbers on that. And so right here, so I have Tuesdays at 10 o'clock AM. I'm going to put Tuesdays on there because right now I just have Tuesday. So this show that I host is on Tuesdays at 10 o'clock. And so I have it in there in that little bubble right off to the side. And so this makes a really cool overlay. Now, if I want to, I can bring this overlay, I can put it up here. So let's bring that up, and we can bring that up, host Louise, or I could change it and put the name of the show here. I can do tons of things with it. You can kind of organize your overlay however you want. So I can bring it all the way up and put it up here, and I could put my image up higher. And so it could be this way as well. So you could have a lot of fun with your overlays. I'm going to bring it down, put it back down here, because I kind of like having my overlays a little lower, and it gives me more room at the top. But like I said, you can do your overlays anywhere on the screen because there's so many cool things to do with the overlays on Canva. Now I'm going to show you, because you can also do some really, really cool overlays. So I'm going to show you this one overlay I did, and it is a really funky overlay, and I like it. So here, and then I'm going to show you how, check this out. There we go. This is a really cool overlay. So your overlays do not have to be like just plain and simple overlays like I have here. It can be even more. You don't just have to have, okay, Tuesdays at 10, because that's similar to what I just showed you how to do. But you can have some really fun and funky overlays. You don't have to, I would say do overlays according to your personality. So this is a really fun overlay. Here's another overlay that I did for the Beauty of Black and Fine Art show. As you can see, it's a large overlay. So when you get up there, it's a matter of having to figure out, how far down you want to go, what you want to put in your corners and stuff like that, and how far out you want to put those things, because you have to look at spacing. Because you can see this overlay, if I move up closer, it's like right on my head. And so you want to think about that when you're creating your overlays. So, but this one right here, this is kind of cool. This is a fun and funky overlay. So I'm going to show you how to go back in and do some fun overlays, because they don't just have to be these basic overlays. Or you might want to say something that's kind of cool and rad, and that's with this overlay right here. You can do something totally different in an overlay. So we're going to take that overlay off because it takes up it's taking up the whole side of the screen. So let's go back and look at how to create a fun and funky overlay. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of these because we've already done. So that's one way to do overlays in Canva. I'm just going to take these off. So now we're going to go back to the elements, and we're going to just pull something really cool off. And you can see there's all kinds of things. You can click on that and you can get all kinds of really crazy things. You can use a computer. You can use, well, you have to pay, probably you have to pay $1 for things that are not free. So, but we're going to do one of these. Now, this is the one that you saw that was on the overlay that I just did. But we're going to go ahead and take this and we're just going to whip it across like that. Yeah, it's so easy. And that's why I like using Canva, because Canva is so easy. And you can put this above, you can put it down low, you can do all kinds of things with it. You can make it shorter, you can make it bigger, you can have it above when you're talking, so you can have it above you, which is really cool, to have something sort of floating above you, and then you can take it into the upper part of your screen as well. If you wanted to get rid of some of it, you don't necessarily have to have it hanging down on your screen. But let's have some fun with this one. We're going to go ahead and change some of the colors, because you can literally change the colors. You don't have to have the same color. I love having this sort of darkish green in there, but you can also change that color to like gray if you want, and just make it gray. So I'm just going to go ahead and make it a gray color. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and I'm going to, you can see you have some other different ones. There's all kinds, which is so much fun. You know, there's all kinds of different ones you can have fun with and use and change all of the colors. So just, you know, you have there's a lot of varieties if you want to go that route and do those. You have these kind where you can change the little bubble shapes and stuff like that, which is so, to me, these are so much fun to do. So you have a lot of options in the Canva elements, things that you can choose from and have some really fun with. So don't ever think that you're limited. I love the Canva elements because there's so many things in here. You have dogs and fish that you could use. If you want to put those in your overlay, by all means, feel free to do that. So now that we've changed the colors to this particular overlay, we're going to go to text. And we're going to go ahead and pull a text out. And the cool thing about Canva is if it's dark, it will automatically make the lettering white for you, which is really great, which I love, because could you imagine putting black lettering on here and then you have to find it? It's like, what happened to my letters? But with Canva, you don't have to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and tilt it a little bit because this is tilted. The one thing I do wish Canva had was sort of like a bending tool so that you can bend the letters. Maybe they have that in the paid version. I don't know, but they don't have it in this free version. And like I said, I am in the free version. So if you want other elements, definitely go ahead and pay for the paid version. I find that the free version works for me because I do use Photoshop as well. So we're going to go ahead and put Black Art and Culture, because that's one of my shows where I do Black Art and Culture, and so I'm going to put that right there. But I'm going to go ahead and change the lettering. So the way you change the lettering is right up here, and Canva has a whole host of free lettering. So you could pay for lettering, or you could just use all the free lettering, and trust me, they have a whole host. So if you're just starting out, go for the free plan, enjoy it, have some fun. And you can change the lettering to pretty much anything in that free plan. They have so many different letterings. And so you can see right here, I just changed the lettering. I'm going to go in and I'm going to change the size a little bit. I'm going to make the size a little bigger, just so that you could see it a little better. So then I'm going to bring it up. And as you can see, it's Black Art and Culture. And then I'm going to make this just a little bigger, not real big, because remember, it's going to be overhead. This is going to be overhead. So I don't want it too big. I don't want this overlay too big because it's already going to take up some of the space, which is okay because I think it still will be a fun overlay to have. So this is the overlay that I've created, and I really like it. And I don't want to add too much because you can add too much to an overlay, and I don't want to add too much to it. I think this is a fun overlay, I think this is perfect for what I'm doing. And so I'm not going to add any more. Now, if you want to, you can add more to an overlay. So you can go back to elements, and you can click back on all of the elemental features. And like you could do some really fun stuff. So like say you added a square and you want to make a really cool sort of shape to your overlay. Say you're like, well, Louise, I would really like for my overlay to have a form. You can actually bring in that, and then you can bring in a triangle, and you can make some really cool shapes with your overlays. So if you want to take that corner down, you could take the corner down and have it this way and make your overlay this way. Let's bring that back out just a little bit. So you can slant your corners on your overlays. So you can have something like that on your overlays. You can bring in other shapes and forms and create other things. And so that's the cool thing about overlays, is that you can do kind of whatever, anything you want to come up with, you can actually design. So this is a really cool one that you could design, and you can put a time in it. You could do basically whatever you want. You can put it in a corner. You can bring it over here and stick it in this corner if you want to. You can bring all of your sides over and stick them all in a corner. And voila, you've created a whole new overlay look. And that's what I really like about all of the different things that you can do in Canva, because if you look down here, they have so many other features and other things that you can add. You can add leaves. Can you imagine putting like a nice little leaf right there? Because it's fall. So if you want to add some nice fall feel to your overlay, you could throw a nice little leaf over there, and then you have this beautiful swoosh. I think I'm going to leave that. It's like my fall. I'm going to take these out because we're going to go with this overlay. And it's just a fun overlay. So I'm just going to go with this overlay. Maybe I should put the leaf over here. What do you think? So I'm just going to put a nice little leaf on it because I just love this leaf. I love the way it looks. So I'm just going to, it'll be my going into fall overlay, right? So what I'm going to do is, now that I have the overlay that I like this overlay, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to click download. So as you can see, it's a PNG. I'm going to download it into a PNG, but I do not have the transparency background. So because I'd have to pay for the transparency background, and I really don't want to upgrade. So if you want to try that, you could try it for 30 days if you want to, and you'll be able to get that transparency background if you go ahead and do the pro plan, which I would suggest. If you do not have Photoshop, I would definitely suggest getting that pro plan so that you can create the transparency background. So I'm going to go ahead and download this because I'm going to keep this. I'm actually going to use it because I love it. I love what I just did. I'm going to keep this one. I didn't keep the other ones, but I'm going to keep this one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to my, I'm just going to go and pull it up in my files. And then I'm going to show you guys how I went about creating that one. I'm just going to grab it out of my downloads. And just like I said, you guys can do so many things with Canva, because Canva is such a great program to be able to do overlays, and you could do all kinds of graphics for all of your social media posts. And I'm going to show you some of that as well. We'll do a little bit on your social media posts. But I'll tell you what, make sure you click my link and click subscribe. And then that way you'll be able to get all of my post updates. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, on the next video, I'm going to show you how to take this overlay into, okay, so what I'd like for you to do is go ahead and click the link below and subscribe to my channel and click on the bell so you can get the alerts as well. Also, go ahead and subscribe to my channel by clicking the link below, so that way you can get all of my updates when they come.